welcome to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. We got movies. So I'm going to once again criticize Hollywood, literally releasing 4 movies this weekend that I wanted to see. And of course, nobody went to the movie theaters this weekend. This was like the lowest box office weekend in like forever, and like one of the lowest like, an a near all-time non-COVID initial release for the number one movie, like, which was Novocaine, and only made like $8 million, which is not a lot of money when you're talking about box office. Like, but they released 4 movies that I would have gone to see this weekend. There was Novocaine, which we'll review. There was Black Bag, which we will review. Because I can only get to 2 movies to theaters. Like if you give me 3 really good ones, I guess. Anyway, the other ones that were released that I didn't get to see were Opus, and which it was a sort of psychological like horror movie starring John Malkovich, and there was a Looney Tunes movie which doesn't look good at all, but has gotten actually okay reviews. But I would have gone. If last week when there was only 1 movie released that I had any interest in seeing, maybe I kind of could have. If you put the Looney Tunes movie there, I might have gone, for a second movie. But I don't even have the chance. Like it's ridiculous. Anyway, okay, whatever. By the way, also this weekend, 3 new streamers were released. So yeah, I'm doing 5 movies because I could do streamers. Like streamers, as long as I have some mild interest and I'm doing laundry, I can watch a streaming movie. So let's get busy. Black Bag is Steven Soderbergh. Right off the bat, Steven Soderbergh. Okay, yes, and let's go. Let's do this. Thank you for not going directly to streamers, Steven. And oh, by the way, Michael Fassbender. Yes, okay, and Kate Blanchett is his wife. Yes. And they are playing British spies, M5 spies. Spy thriller for Steven Soderbergh. Yes. Okay, so basically, I think Steven Soderbergh was the guy who did the scores for Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. Said, "Hey, Steven, I have some leftover material. I didn't use these in your movie. Go ahead and see if you can make a movie where these will fit perfectly." And so he wrote and directed Black Bag. As I mentioned, it's a spy thriller, and the conceit of this is that Michael Fassbender is kind of set up as the guy in M5 that solves internal problems. And there is a MacGuffin missing, and the MacGuffin can kill people, a lot of people, and the only reasonable explanation is that somebody internal within the organization has stolen it and has sold it. And he's given 5 names of the possible thieves, and one of them is his wife. And it's 90 minutes of pure movie gold. Like, just, it's perfection. It really is a perfect 90-minute spy thriller, the likes of which you would expect from Steven Soderbergh. I implore everybody sitting here. I'm going to be away for 2 weekends in a row. Your goal is to make sure Black Bag, whatever it made this week, I think it made 7 million. I don't know. I whatever it made, it wasn't enough. Your goal is to make sure Black Bag has triple the box office, does not drop at all. Unheard of. Like, it is so difficult for a movie to not drop off at all. Black Bag should not drop off. It is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful movie. It's, I mean, God, where's my, that's not, Oh, it's in the banners. I'm sorry. Here at Real Talk, we do tacos instead of stars. And if we feel like something deserves a little extra, we'll add guac instead of doing a half a taco. Why? Because nobody eats half a fucking taco. And so Black Bag, Steven Soderbergh, Michael Fassbender, Kate Blanchett, 5 tacos. The first 5 taco movie of the year. Yes, I've seen a couple of I saw a couple of Oscar movies during this calendar year, but they were last year movies. I'm talking about movies released that are strictly 2025 calendar movies. This is a 5 taco movie. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Go see Black Bag. All right, the next one we're gonna do is Novocaine, and Novocaine has been getting advertised. If you've gone to see any movie in the past like 6 months, you've seen a trailer for Novocaine. The conceit is that um, the uh, the the kid of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid, uh, Jack Quaid, is is has a malady, whatever, a weird birth thing that he can't feel pain. Okay, he can't feel pain, and he's the assistant manager at a bank. He falls in love with one of the tellers, and she gets kidnapped during an attempted bank robbery, and he goes running after her. And this is all in the trailers, and all during his attempts to rescue her as regular Joe, he uses the fact that he can't feel the pain that's being inflicted on him by these people, the bank robbers, and the people who know where the bank robbers are. He can't feel the pain that they inflict on him. So that's a huge advantage for him. This movie is, it's they set it up. It's going to be a lot of fighting and gunfire and people getting hurt, and it's basically a it's a John Wick spinoff. It's like if John Wick were just a bank manager, but he couldn't feel pain, and instead of a dog, it was his newbie girlfriend. Yeah, and I'm cool with that. Just do it. You're giving me a new spin on the John Wick sort of thing, and you know, you get you get Jack Quaid in it. Oh, by the way, the bad guy, one of the bank robbers, is played by Ray Nicholson, son of Jack Nicholson. So it's the best Nepo movie with Amber Midhunter, who was in one of my favorite movies from a couple of years ago, Prey, which was like the prequel to Predator. Still an amazing movie on Hulu. Watch it immediately if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, look, it's I'm in. I'm in. It's fun, and that's it. Like everything you see on the trailer, it just gives you that. The best parts of the movie, unfortunately, are not the are not the fighting and stuff. The best parts of the movie are actually sort of like the first act rom-com, because like the first act is basically a rom-com. It's bank teller and assistant manager getting to know each other, and you're buying into these two, that they actually have a thing for each other and they have some chemistry, and they do, and it works and it's endearing. The third act goes a little overboard, but that's all right. We're going to do 3 tacos for it. You're allowed to go a little overboard when you're doing John Wick, where the guy can't feel pain. I feel like that's allowed. Now we're getting to, okay. So yeah, I liked the new releases. Novocaine, by the way, really, really good 3 tacos. Like, I can't give it more than 3 tacos, because it is just a thing. And I salute things that are just the thing. But also, like, there's really nothing going on here other than the acting from the 3 leads that is like, oh, that's amazing. But like, it's super fun. It's good. Um, the first streamer I'm doing is Control Freak. It's on Hulu. It stars uh, I don't remember first name, but Tran from the Star Wars sequel saga, the Rey saga, who got completely destroyed on social media because she's a human being and dared to be a minority in Star Wars. Um, and I like her. And that's the best thing I can say about this movie. The conceit of this movie is she's playing a self-help person, who hey, the only thing holding you back is you have to silence those bad voices, you can do anything you want. um and but she's, the self-help person may not necessarily be in total control. um she is, so this is the disappointing thing, and then both of these but the first two streamers have the same thing in common, where they're demonic possession movies that don't work at all, which is a shame because I love demonic possession movies. In this case, she's constantly itching at her head because she has a demon who is eating away at her. And it turns out like the demon's been with her since she was born, and nothing makes sense and nothing works. If this would be like, you could have made a really good like 30-minute short movie on this. Like if you were doing like a compilation movie of demonic possessions, like here are three completely separate, unrelated demonic possession movies, like a Twilight Zone demon movie or something like that, and you did 30-minute shorts and stapled them together and made them into a single feature. This, I think you could get like 30 good minutes out of this. What you're not getting is like an hour and 45 minutes out of this, and that's what they stretch it to. And it's just weak sauce, and it doesn't work. And it's getting I'm torn between one taco plus guac or two. I'm gonna go two. It gets two tacos. If you like demonic possession movies, then okay, sure, go ahead. Next is The Parenting. It's another demonic possession movie. This one is a demonic possession comedy. The last one was a pure, by the way, really liked the character design in Control Freak. I do want to say that in The Parenting, the movie starts in the 1980s. And so for some reason, and then uh it might have been the 90s. Oh, I forgive me. It might have been the 90s. No, it was the 90s. Apologies. It was the early 90s. So whatever. But it starts then, and there's a house, and there's a demon in it, and the demon kills the family. And then fast forward, and the house has been remodeled, and it's now an Airbnb, and Elizabeth Banks shows up, and you're thinking, oh, Elizabeth Banks, that's great. And then she goes away and doesn't come back until the end. And it's like, no, Elizabeth Banks, you could just stay away. Anyway, a gay couple rents the house because they want to introduce themselves and their two families to each other. Right off the bat, I throw gay couples aside. Like, who's doing that? Who's like, I'm going to introduce you to my parents, and the first time you meet them, our parents are also going to meet, and we're going to be in an Airbnb far away from anything else. Like, the conceit is asinine. Okay. And like, that just sounds like an absolute nightmare just to begin with. And throw on top of it, it's Brian Cox, and you're dragging Brian Cox into this, and he plays one of the dads. And then the demon has to take possession of one of the parents, and you make it take a possession of Brian Cox, and so we don't get to see Brian Cox doing Brian Cox things. He has to be a demon this whole time. And the movie, it's supposed to be a horror comedy, because it has Elizabeth Banks in it, and it's not funny. I'm just gonna. It's playing on Max. You can watch it if you want. I'm gonna no. It's one plus Squawk. It didn't even have good character design, even though it had Brian Cox and Elizabeth Banks, both of which are fantastic, but not here. The last one, the Much Ballyhooed, The Electric State, which is coming from the Russo brothers. It's on Netflix. It stars everybody's favorite Netflix actor Millie Bobby Brown, and nobody's favorite Marvel MCU actor. One of the Chris's, but Chris Pratt. And by the way, I love Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, and that was kind of my introduction to him. I never watched Parks and Rec. It's a television show. I don't watch television shows. And I don't know why, but just his persona in real life is just grating. It's just absolutely grating. Whereas his persona as Star-Lord is awesome. And apparently they're kind of like the same persona, but all right. Anyway, Electric State, the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers have had a hard time making movies after Endgame. Not that they're not getting movies to make, and not that they're being given a lot of money to make them, just that they're being given a lot of money to make bad movies that go straight to streaming. And this is another in the long line. So here's the thing. First of all, Millie Bobby Brown is limited. And we kind of knew that. And Chris Pratt is limited, and we kind of knew that. And to have those two folks trying to carry this movie is a big oof. The conceit of this movie is that, and by the way, there's like a 15-minute, like, let's tell you what happened, in the past. The conceit of this movie is that, this is the part of the movie that I love, and it drives me nuts that this movie doesn't work. Okay. Walt Disney, instead of doing audio animatronics, literally this is what happens. Okay. Walt Disney, instead of when he makes Disneyland, instead of doing audio animatronics, which are just, program things that do the motions and, literally develops robots. Walt Disney invents AI like that. That's, for his fucking theme park. Okay. Yes, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then what happens is that people start taking that technology and applying it to real, and then robots become a thing, and they're doing robot-y things that are, they take all the dangerous jobs, and we see scenes of the robots who are sentient, because that's, the kind of thing that Walt Disney would do, give robots sentience. They say, we don't want to fucking do these dangerous jobs anyway. We don't want to die. And then be like, well, but you're not real because you don't have a soul. And so no, you're going to keep, and then they say, fuck you, we're not going to do this anymore. They're led by Mr. Peanut. This is where it starts going downhill. They're led by Mr. Peanut and voiced by Woody Harrelson. And the robots are winning because, of course, they are. Until Stephen Jobs in the 80s, instead of developing Apple, develops a technology that allows virtual reality people to go into drones, essentially, and put their sentience into the drones and fight back against the robots. And then the robots sign a treaty and are given New Mexico and Arizona to live in. And present day, Millie Bobby Brown's, in the first scene, we find Millie Bobby Brown has a really intelligent brother, but now in present, but it's not even present day. It's like 5 years later. So instead of being like the 90s, it's like the early 2000s, whatever. I don't, the time frame almost doesn't matter. the her brother has died, her parents have died, she's an orphan, and she's struggling in school because she's an orphan. Um, and, and so first of all, the CGI is amazing in this movie. I'm just gonna say it. The robot CGI is fucking amazing. I just wish Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt knew how to act in a green screen. Um, thing two, the story of, so what happens now is that Millie Bobby Brown, a robot shows up. Like, robots are confined to Arizona and New Mexico. They're not allowed to leave, but a robot shows up on Millie Bobby Brown's doorstep and says, "Hey, I'm your brother. Come find me." And so she then has to go and find her brother, and everything that happens from that, I don't get it at all. Okay, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, and that's a problem. Except that if you just accept that you're not watching the movie for the for neither the live acting, but you're watching it for the voice acting and for the set pieces, the action set pieces. If you're just like, the Russo brothers know how to do really good action set pieces, and the voice acting is some of the best and most fun and interesting voice acting you're going to see. This movie 100% works and is fantastic, and I had so much fun watching it, except that every once in a while I had to remind myself that, oh wait, there's this shitty ass fucking plot that doesn't work at all and is just an absolute downer. And why are you giving me plot things? Just do another action set piece, please. Like, and I had way more fun watching this movie than either the other two streamers, and that's just the reality. But it's not remotely as good as Novocaine, and I didn't have quite as much fun because it was maddening at some times, but also it wasn't sickening. Whereas, like, in the third act, Novocaine actually gets really kind of fucking gross and disgusting. So Electric State gets 2 tacos plus guac, and that's just the reality of it. I'm sorry, that's just the reality. Is that this is a movie that I'm never going to go looking for again. I absolutely enjoyed myself watching it. It's absolutely stupid. And if somebody came over and said, "Hey, I kind of want to watch Electric State. I haven't seen it. I know you have Netflix. Let's just do that." I'd be like, "Okay." I wouldn't be mad. Whereas if they said, "Hey, I want to watch The Parenting," I'd just be like, "You know what? I'm going to go do something else and I'll see you later." But yeah, that's what we got. The streaming movies look, theater movies is where it's at right now. Okay. Go see Black Bag. Please go see Black Bag. Black Bag is so good. Black Bag is just everything that I want in a movie. And also directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. Like, if those three things weren't true and that you weren't the reality of it, and you just gave me that movie directed by anybody, I'm still gonna like the movie because it's such a great premise that it's impossible to ruin. But you get Steven Soderbergh, you get the Ocean's soundtracks. Go watch Black Bag. All right. I'm Paul Britton. This was Real Talk. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I enjoyed giving you my takes. We're going to be off for a couple weeks because I will be away the next couple weekends. So I'm not going to have a chance to go see any movies. No promises, but I'm hoping when I come back, I'll be able to go see Snow White, and then I'll do other things. But yeah, so that's all we got. Go see movies.